All right, I got everything I need. Don't
Almost.
look at my one line item there.
I won't. I can't see that
could
far.
be bad. So, what I was asking, so there's 4 M&Ms here. I'm
Jellybean.
Yeah, what I say.
M&Ms.
All right, I just big M&M fan. Anyhow, I came downstairs. This might make sense to you later, but so I come downstairs and I've got 4 jelly beans in my pocket. Jelly beans in my pocket. And because I thought I wanted to have a jelly bean or 2 during the episode in case I get peckish. And anyway, there's 4 colors, and I took them out of my pocket and put them on the table against a nice brown towel contrast. So it's like a piece of art. And I asked Mark if he wanted one, and he said no. And then I couldn't decide which one I wanted to have first, because I think you're supposed to. Well, let me ask you this.
Well, tell them the colors first.
America. Oh, excuse me. Planet Earth. Interested in when you have 4 jelly beans presented to you, do you eat them in random order, or do you eat them with any color strategy? Here's mine. First, I go from least liked to most liked. I want to have the bad one first and then my favorite one last. There might be flaws in that plan. I can see that from the other angle already. Have the one you want first, and maybe you don't need the other ones, she said. Or not. Okay. And then I was going to ask Mark, is that your theory on eating more Skittles or whatever?
Well, I don't eat Skittles or jelly beans, but if I did M&Ms, they all taste the same to me.
Oh, but would you choose a color then? Would you, do you have a favorite? I eat the brown one last?
No.
It's also is why you can't run for office.
Already?
That might be an edit. Anyhow, I think I'm going to go. I see where this is going. Mark's not helping. The colors are white, yellow, pink, and purple. And
I think that's orange.
Oh, shit, it is. There's pink ones too. Oh, this changes everything. So there's white, which I don't know what that is. Maybe grape. And then yellow, which I think is lemon. I know the green one tastes like cleaner. Is that a thing? I think every green jelly bean, maybe I've got the gene that makes cilantro taste terrible. I have that with green jelly beans.
We could ask Ronald Reagan. Oh, wait. No, we can't. He was a big jelly bean guy. He had kept a jar of jelly beans on the desk in the Oval Office.
Too soon.
Oh, wow.
Leave Ronnie out of this. Anyhow, so the colors now are white, yellow, orange, and purple. I'll just tell you the order. You're not participating. I want you to talk more. You know that
I don't understand.
I'm just going to finish out my whole thing until you got to hear me chewing on them. So I go from worst to first, and in this case, worst is the white one. And then, this is against popular opinion, the purple one.
That's grape, is it not? That's pretty good.
That is grape, but it's not as good as lemon, which is number 1. That means number 2 is orange. So I go white, purple, orange, and then I like that lemon sticks with you.
I would do it differently.
So talk to me.
White, yellow, orange, purple.
Okay. I guess we can't do this anymore together. We're incompatible. I read in the Tai Chi, I went to the back of the book, the Tai Chi manual written by Tyrone Chi. And it's like a Taurus can't hang with the Sagittarius because it's like the Rorschach, Myers-Briggs of jelly beans.
It's a beautiful butterfly.
All right.
Fluffy
it is.
clouds.
Can't wait to eat it. What's it now? Where are the astrotators? Maybe? I don't know.
I can't talk without you interrupting me, so I don't know how to do
This is the time to do it. I'm chewing a jelly bean. Try your legs out. I'm almost done. I'm getting ready to swallow. Oh, my God. No!
Anyways, I would grab a handful of jelly beans and just toss them in my mouth. That's the way I would do it. I'm not going to eat them individually.
Why is that so not hard to picture? Except in this case, they're not jelly beans. They're bigger beans.
Ouch.
Maybe that guy's name was Jelly, then they'd be jelly beans, but I don't know. What are the odds of a famous guy letting you think about jelly rolls? First name's probably Jelly, right? What did we do today, Mark?
To get back to the jelly bean, the actual candy, who eats them individually?
I think you are being the minority on this one.
Huh.
And you can let us know at the ascertainers@gmail.com. How do you eat jelly beans, in what order? If there's 4 different colors, what's your ranking of the colors? And what was this last one?
If you care.
Oh, do you eat jelly beans one at a time or combine them or even just, you're saying you're eating them like,
Okay,
like a horse eats hay.
You put them in your hand and you throw them in your mouth, not looking at the color.
But it's okay. You made it sound like you took a whole handful and just, you know.
Sometimes.
Pamela lead it.
Wow.
So,
for those who got that reference.
Yeah, if they listened this long, they probably got that reference. But you're saying you just put them in your hand like mixed nuts. And you just, whatever one comes out of the hole first. As my old man did that. That was his move. He would get a handful of like peanuts or whatever. And maybe he was thinking like that the little shell pieces would fall out if you did this. So he had kind of a loose grip on it. It was not a good look for any man. But he kind of like twitched his hand or kind of flicked his hand.
Yes, that's
where like
you see that a lot.
If there was any debris in there, like little nut sack and little tendon or whatever goes around a nut, part of the shell.
It's part of the shuffling of the mixed peanuts. So you have to give it a little shake.
Yeah, and then exactly. If only we were on video right now, but then he would just kind of take his index and forefinger would be like the barrel of the gun, and he would kind of just smack it into his mouth, and next thing you know, he's chewing on something. So he'd go like that. He wouldn't smack himself, but he kind of fire something into his mouth, and then it could have been a doggone June bug for all we know, because he just grabbed it and
have you never eaten peanuts that way?
Never eaten jelly beans that way. No way, man.
How about mixed nuts?
I don't eat jelly beans to get full. Like I'm hungry. I'm like, I got to get a bunch of these in me. I just like them for the colors. Is that wrong? I listen to Rush.
You slammed Rush.
You can stop it after Rush. All right. Oh, no, you can't. Well, I slammed Rush. Penalize me. I'm going to eat the worst one.
Welcome to the Ascertainers. I am Mark, and my partner is Jim.
I'm eating a jelly bean now. I'll be right with you.
A grape one. How is it?
The grape, it was in the right order. The grape doesn't have the amount of flavor. Like, if you didn't think the color purple, you might not think this is grape.
Well, you got the cheap jelly beans.
No.
You got to go with the high-end ones.
Oh, no, these were considered the higher, well, they were in different packaging, and they were like twice the price of like the Brock's one. Brock's, B-R-A-C-H.
So each individual jelly bean was in its own container?
Yes, yeah. It's like the proper, first class. So you got to unwrap each jelly bean. That's about an afternoon. So if you're doing it for Easter, you better start now. But no, they were the higher. They were like custom packaging, and they cost more. So I figured, well, these are the ones.
Nice.
So that's good. They were bigger too, like per bean. They were bigger. So I'm Jim. Nice. Pleased to meet you.
We are now a jelly bean podcast.
I'll go back to Hy-Vee and see what brand that was, and then call them up and see if we can get a sponsorship.
Do you want to delve right into errors and omissions?
I got nothing. So yes, I'll eat the orange jelly bean while you're doing that.
The Rock and Roll Hall of Fame started in 1986.
Wow. Okay.
And the first group was inducted were Buddy Holly, Chuck Berry, Elvis Presley, Fats Domino, Blueberry Hill, James Brown, Jerry Lee Lewis, and Little Richard, Ray Charles, and Sam Cooke, which was all...
But from the beginning, they weren't like straight ahead rock and roll. You put Fats Domino, that right away they're tipping their hand that it's not going to be really rock and roll.
I guess that was considered in its day rock and roll, though.
Well, if that's the case, then sure.
Sam Cooke, a lot of later artists in rock and roll, some of Sam Cooke's stuff. So you could... I got
a lot more problem with Cyndi Lauper than I do Sam Cooke.
Right, but I brought up when did it change, and I think this is considered a rock and roll type inductees.
Oh, so I view it a little differently. That's okay. You don't have to get along on everything.
Okay, 1987 was Aretha Franklin,
She inspired every damn person who's ever picked up a microphone.
Roy Orbison, Marvin Gaye,
Mm-hmm.
the Coasters, Eddie Cochran.
See, Eddie Cochran?
Yeah.
Oh,
Bo Diddley, Bill Haley, but not the Comets.
that's funny. Fuck you, Comets. Beat it. He was done reading. There's nothing after. It's just, what was the guy with the Comets?
Bill Haley.
Phil Haley? And the Comets are all like,
Bill.
Bill Haley? And the Comets are all like,
Will he mention us?
nothing.
In a
Nope.
speech?
He's on to the next guy.
B.B. King, Clyde McPhatter, which is a 2-time.
B.B. King isn't in. That's shocking.
This is 87.
Oh, okay. Okay. Sorry.
And Ricky Nelson.
All right. It's just, I can tell you right now, you basically have a bunch of what are probably more considered rhythm and blues type or soul that I've never really viewed that as rock and roll per se. Could be. I'm not saying I don't like the music. I would classify them differently.
The only thing I would say is that they inspired a lot of rock and roll music.
Yeah, for sure. No,
So-
they're people are walking up the what's that called when you take either your mentors or your rivals and you pile them up and you're standing on the backs of those people as you rise to where you're going. So
That's a good description. And then
we
the
should
third
look
year,
it up.
88, was the Beach Boys, the Beatles, the Drifters, who had Clyde McPhatter in it, so he's been twice, Bob Dylan, and the Supremes.
Did one of them not get in?
Those are all that were,
Inducted,
yes,
not
in
nominated.
1988.
Okay, I was going to say all those are totally worthy in my opinion.
Okay.
Even though the Supremes are not even close to a rock band. They didn't even have fucking instruments out there. Their voices were their instruments, as far as I know.
But I guess they were
Is
just...
Little Richard in? Do you know if he's in?
That was the first year.
Oh, he got in first year.
I've done all the people that were in, not that were nominated. They were all inductees.
Good. We'll get to the movie we saw today where Little Richard was... They showed Little Richard and whatever kind of little band he was with. We'll talk more about that when we get to that point of the show.
But Madonna
Cliffhanger.
didn't get in right away like you thought.
Madonna, but she's
it's
in.
25 years from her first album.
That's the basic minimum to get in.
That's what I mean. You said that she got in right away, that the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame was not about rock and roll. And you mentioned Madonna.
That's an interesting fact. So I think that's really when I became really aware that the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame was a thing, is when Madonna got in. So what you're saying to me is she probably had 20 more years from then. Was that?
I don't know when her first album came out.
07. So in the early 2000s, she would have been eligible. And I guess that makes sense. So I've known about the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame for like 20 years.
Yeah, it's been around.
Probably because Russia wasn't in it, so it didn't matter.
It's like hockey.
Although
Who cares
Cleveland
about
is
hockey?
a very influential town for Rush. Would you like to hear more?
No.
No? Weird.
And then I heard Sugarloaf, Don't Call Us.
Isn't that a great song?
We'll call you.
Listen, kid, you pay for the call.
But it's a song I heard before, but I probably haven't heard in
Years and
30
years.
years.
That's
That was-
a real coinky dink, don't you think?
I don't know what that means.
Haiku.
Oh, and then Eric, my musical influence,
Yeah.
texted me and said, in honor of us, he was listening to Machine Head this week.
Nice.
So that was pretty good.
We just made the universe a better place.
We did. You want to go on to the radio game?
I want to talk about our last guest and then talk about Newts and then go to the radio game.
Okay.
So the episode that came out today, well, you can say what day it is. It's March 8th, 2025.
I'll edit that.
Oh, Mark just did go looking, you did that cross-eyed looking up kind of thing there. So anyhow, so the episode that comes out today was recorded a week ago, and it had our neighbor Charlie, who's been I think he's been our most consistent kind of sounding board, interested in it. He does listen to it at 2x speed, so he's maybe if you heard him at full speed, he'd stop. But anyway, we appreciate it.
Would that be half interested then?
It'd be a quarter. Oh, no, yeah. I was thinking 16ths. But you're right. It's a quarter, half. Anyway, Charlie was on, and Charlie, so I come down to clean up after, because every guest goes, oh, where can I take these? And I'm so used to Mark never, ever asking me that. I just go, just leave them. So we're fine. Sick burn.
Ouch.
I'm fucking around. No, and I just said, no, leave them. So I come back down, and I clean up, and Charlie's, all of his little tabs, the little thing that you, to open a, what do you call that, pop top?
Yeah.
Can tab. So anyhow, all of his were gone, and then I think I remember him saying they either do it for, I think it's for like an organization where it's like, this is like aluminum, right? That's like the
Children's Hospital.
Is that what it is?
I believe so. Collects those.
Some great cause, yeah. And I'm just like, well, shit, man, the ascertainers should be a little more socially aware and responsible. We're going to tear ours. That's a new thing. I'm going to tear mine off, and we'll put them in a bag, and when the bag gets full, we'll bring them over to Charlie.
Sounds good.
Anyway, Charlie was great. I hate to even do the Newt's promo now after he did it, because he did it so dang well. But, Mark, what do you got? Wait. Talking about Charlie, we're going to do...
You're going to do the Newt's promo. There you go.
Get some of that out, too.
No, that really threw me for a loop.
So,
what do you got?
So I have to tell you guys about our day so it makes sense. First of all, we didn't record on Friday night. It's Saturday night today. I don't think that matters. Or it matters why we couldn't record, because that's HIPAA.
Something came up. Like a Brady Bunch episode.
Yeah, we got to look up Janky, too.
Like our listeners know what that is.
I know. So much. So here's our day one. It's Saturday. When I bailed last night, when one of us bailed last night, Mark suggested, oh, why don't we go see that Led Zeppelin movie, and we can record after if you're feeling up to it. My dearest, dearest friend, with love and much respect and gentleness, Mark. I'm like, Mark,
wow.
Your texts are so fucking long because of that signature.
It was AI.
Thank you, chatbot. So anyhow, that's what we did. We went, I picked him up at 2:50. We went and saw the movie. There was literally nobody at the movie theater. It was like it was closed. And inside our theater, there were 11 people total.
That sounds right.
Including us. And I watched for 2. But anyhow, and then we went to Newt's, and Mark had the new special. New month, new attitude. Tell us about that burger, Mark.
It's the wonton burger, and I get it with Impossible beef patty. Beyond, sorry. Wow, pushing the wrong.
But they also
company.
have it with what normal people eat, ham burger.
But it has wonton chips on top, and it has wonton sauce and some cream cheese. So it's very good.
That sounds really good.
A little messy.
It was messy. You don't like messy.
I don't like messy. It's like eating
God,
fish tacos.
Ooh, not quite there yet.
In long sleeves.
Okay. Oh, that's where you were going with that. Thank God. Okay. Anyway,
Let me finish my thought. It takes a while. I'm old.
I just heard you had me. Let me finish.
Although we're the same age, because Jim had his birthday this week.
I did.
Happy birthday.
Thanks, Mark. I did have my birthday. And we got Newt's ice cold beer. We went Saturday, so we didn't see Sarah, but we saw Beth. Beth works for, Saturday night. And we saw Corey, and it was very busy. It's always great to see Newt's hopping, and still going to be able to weasel a seat at the bar, which apparently took some encouragement.
Thanks to the other people there, probably there to watch the hockey game, but they moved down to make room for us.
Fantastic. They didn't miss any hockey either, because it just started. And it's a blowout. I guess you know by now, but it's not looking good for the team that's down 3 goals in the first 5 minutes of the game.
And Jim's lovely bride was with us also.
Right,
so it wasn't a...
Oh, it wasn't a Boys About Town day.
No.
No, it wasn't.
It wasn't a true date.
Which is why I'm like, not cool. Don't hold my hand. It's only when Chris isn't around. When we were doing the puddle thing, Schlemiel, Schlemazo, Opera fucking Incorporated. You know that one, don't you?
I do. Laverne and Shirley.
Go to Newt's. It's in Apple Valley on the south, or on the...
West side. Lovely burgers, cold beer, hot popcorn, and pull tabs. And you get to watch sports. So it's an all-around great place to go.
You can do it all. You can do it all. So after we did Newt's, then we came back here, my house, the Dojo, and I decided since we just come from the Led Zeppelin movie, I don't know if we even mentioned that was the movie we were going to go see, but anyhow, I thought instead of drinking a bunch of beer tonight, I would. I don't think my work listens. It'll be out of my system by the time this comes out. I had a little partook in a little bit of the stuff they grow around here legally, and so anyway, if I've seemed a little silly, it was a pretty good effort on the farmer's part, and I happen to know the farmer. So anyway, I feel like I need to, for anyone that's listening, going, "What, is Jim having a stroke?" Nope, he's just feeling pretty good.
It'd be funny if people didn't know the difference between.
All right. I have one top. It's really not it's like a topic, but maybe it should come. I think it should come after the radio game. Palate cleanser.
Okay, before we go into that, you sent me a link to something, and it was Pete Townsend.
Oh, it was a
rough mix.
Was that who gets credit for it? But it's loaded. It's
a Pete Townsend album.
Production, but there's a lot of artists on it. Yes.
Yeah, he invited people to be on it.
Yeah, and it's like everybody.
Yeah, I brought in
But I've never heard of that album.
I haven't either.
Isn't that wild?
Have you listened to the whole thing?
I haven't listened to any of it. It was this guy doing a list, or I think it was like maybe top 3 like albums everyone should have heard but hasn't, or underrated albums.
It's very good, but I don't know if it was outstanding. But it goes against your idea that you put the second song the number 1 hit. Yeah. Because the first song is the best song on the album.
Would I know it?
No.
What's it called?
Now I got to put my glasses on.
Have you heard it, or you just saw it?
Yeah, I listened to the whole album.
Oh, okay.
So the first song on Rough Mix is My Baby Gives It Away, which is bad.
Yeah. What kind of baby's that?
And then the second song is Nowhere to Run.
Oh, I love that song.
It's not the one you're thinking about. Nowhere to Run, Nowhere to Hide.
Totally the best song of the album. I don't care what it was going to be called. I was going to say I love it.
Nowhere to Run. When I was listening to it, because I didn't look anything up about the album, I just was listening to it. And I go, man, that sounds like a Faces song.
Ooh.
And then I looked it up, and it's Ronnie Lane from Small Faces.
Oh, well,
and he's a singer. But it's a very good album. I just thought I'd bring that up. It was nice of you
to send that to me. Thanks for texting me back. Well, thank you. Wouldn't hurt.
It does a little bit.
All right. We're going to do the radio game, you said?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Mine was thrown together. Pish posh.
We're throwing our dollar bills into the
cusp. The cusp
90.
of $90 in there. Man, who knew?
Who knew?
I mean, it's been a long time since one of us has won, apparently. Oh, no, wait. There was that one time that I won. And I know you're just rolling your eyes now because, like, you mix it in. That one time you won.
Because we started it after the 2 times I've won.
Jim
he points
to his skull as in, that was my plan the whole time, pal. Okay.
Okay, the radio game, we'll list 4 bands, and we'll listen to KQ92, and we'll see if what we're predicting is playing. And mine are kind of iffy.
Do you have a theme?
I do have a theme.
I laughed so hard last time when just the way you said, I have a theme, as if it was the first time you ever had a theme. You pulled it off. You're like very Shakespearean.
I have a theme tonight.
Oh, out with it.
I'll start with the Kinks.
Okay.
Ray Davies and Dave Davies.
I know what this is going to be.
Lola is the song that I'm going with.
Okay. I'm going to go with... Oh, you have another one.
I'll do 2, and then Jim will do 2.
Yes.
CCR, Tom, and John Fogerty, Born on the Bayou.
Okay.
To bring up Tom Fogerty, he left the band because he was so pissed at his brother. And he had 2 good albums.
Yeah. Not CCR good, though, huh?
Oh, he sounds just like John.
Okay.
But Excalibur is one album that he did with Jerry Garcia of the Grateful Dead.
So far, I see multiple possible themes here. I'm going to go my first. You with the Kinks and what?
CCR.
CCR. Pat Benatar and Aerosmith. Similar reasons.
Well, then I'm going to go, because of our Hall of Fame talk, Black Crowes.
Okay.
Chris and Rich Robinson. And Oasis. Liam and Noel Gallagher.
See, with brother bands.
Champagne Supernova. But what about the brother bands?
Oh, they hate each other.
Yes.
Oh, it's like any brother band then. Oh, I thought you said family. Sorry. Wow. I thought that was just a common thing, but...
No, because Eddie and Alex got along.
I guess they did, didn't they?
Yeah.
Because they all put their energy against David Lee. Otherwise, that guy should stay in the band. He was so good. He was that good. Are we still
recording? Yes.
No, I didn't do the rest of. I didn't do any of my bands.
Yeah, you did. You did too.
Oh, I have 2 more. Can I do my? Did you do your second ones?
Yes, I did all 4.
All right. Well, no one's ever heard of this one. 707, and then Joe Jackson. Just cause. Go ahead. You might as well listen.
List them again.
Pat Benatar, Aerosmith, 707. Do Not Adjust Your Set, 707, and then Joe Jackson.
And mine were the Kings, CCR, Black Crowes, and Oasis. Go ahead.
So I realized after listening to the last episode that we don't really say what's happening. It just gets quiet, and then Jim yells something out. So I'm now taking the, I think it's a Sony, spelled weird, but anyway, little jukebox, putting the thing in my ear.
I don't even think it has a name.
We're not making this up.
Oh, wow.
How's that for?
It's Led Zeppelin, and we just came from the movie.
Stop it, Led Zeppelin. Stop it, John Bonham from the grave. We respect how you left this earth. All right, so rating game's over. Nobody won. Blah, blah, blah. I'm going to save my thing for next episode because I don't want to really... I'll show you later what it's going to be. Actually, I can't tell you, though. So anyway, we saw the Becoming Led Zeppelin movie in the theater, and it was really good. The end.
It was good.
I mean, honestly, I thought it was... My expectations were kind of high, which usually then means you're going to be let down, and it exceeded my expectations going in.
That's coming from a person that was just a little above indifferent towards Led Zeppelin.
Wow, look at you, fucking Roger. Yes, I would say that I did not fully appreciate Led Zeppelin because I think I was more of a kind of, all the Zepp I heard was on the radio. So I didn't hear some of the, what do you call that? Deep tracks. That's it. That's not funny.
But it's funny, they don't have that many deep tracks. They played a lot of the different stuff on the radio.
Phenomenal, man. So it was another, again, three people on the town, nothing to see here. And Chris she enjoys music, but she's not into it, she's probably pretty into it for her gender, but because a lot of, like, when it comes to like rock music and stuff like that, I think if you ask the average person, average woman of her age, that they'd be like, who, what, so I think she's got pretty good deep knowledge. So sorry, hon. But anyway, but she's not really that into like listening to music and stuff like that. She loved it. So I think that you don't have, this is one of those things where you can bring someone, Diane, in fact, she goes, I'm not real big on Led Zeppelin. It's like, well, that's kind of the point, right? Maybe you'll become.
Right. It was a very well done documentary.
Yes. So whether you like Led Zeppelin, whether you've heard of Led Zeppelin, or if you love them, I think everyone should see it. They would enjoy it. They don't have to go see it.
It's right up there with the Bee Gees documentary, I think.
Well, I learned more in the Bee Gees one than I learned in the Zeppelin one. Because what they do is they basically just interview the remaining members of Zeppelin, and they go all the way back to when they were kids, before they even got into music. And everything about it's interesting. Yeah, I would say that those two I would say Zeppelin's better than the Bee Gees one. If I was going to watch one, I'd watch Zeppelin.
I guess I didn't know, I shouldn't say that I didn't know, I just didn't appreciate the Bee Gees as much as I appreciate Led Zeppelin. So that's why that one is a little bit higher, because it made me appreciate the Bee Gees more. Where I already appreciate
that's such an odd way to rank. That's like eating your...
Well, I'm talking about a documentary where it gets a point across.
So you vote on the impact more so than the quality of the product.
I think they're both quality documentaries, but the impact sends the Bee Gees a little bit over the top, to me.
Well, good. The topic's Led Zeppelin.
I do love Led Zeppelin. I'm just talking about documentaries.
Here, I'll get you out of this.
I'm trying to get people to go see it because it might not be your cup of tea, but you'll enjoy it.
They might hate the Bee Gees and figure this is going to be the worst.
Nobody hates the Bee Gees.
They don't hate the Bee Gees after they saw the documentary. Some people haven't seen the documentary because why? Don't like the Bee Gees. They don't know they like them yet. It's like the Ascertainers in a way.
Oh, that was another thing I wanted to bring up. They said they just started playing together, Led Zeppelin.
Just like Torsion.
Yes. Just like this podcast. We don't care Like, they didn't care if people got it or liked it. They were just playing for themselves. And we're pretty much talking to ourselves.
Which is convenient. Because nobody else does either. I mean, 6.2 million, is that a lot of listeners? We don't.
Yeah, but it took them time.
We don't count that stupid shit.
It took them months.
Wait, what?
It took them like 2 months to make it famous.
Who's that?
Led Zeppelin?
Yeah.
And we've only been doing this 2 years.
Here's one of my favorite lines from that movie is that when... Are we at the right part yet? Anyway.
There is the right part.
When Jimmy Page is like, he goes, yeah, I'm playing in these bands. My English accent isn't so bueno, if you know what I mean. But he's like, he's talking about, he's like playing in the, he's a session guy. So he's in the session, whatever, fucking, the recording studio all the time. And he goes, my friends Jeff and Eric have this band. Just talking about Jeff and Eric, you know, Clapton and Beck. Because these guys are in a band. Why can't I be in something fun?
Oh, I was thinking he was playing Muzak.
That's what he was talking about.
Right, but he was turning the page till it made you sick.
Oh.
And I was thinking, wow, you either hate that type of music or is it really...
I think it's just a repetition of having to play a scored music.
Yeah, okay.
Score. So, all right. Zeppelin. Go see it. Everybody would love it. It's better than the Bee Gees. Or it's not, depending on who you ask.
I should have brought a paper and pen to make notes because I forget about a lot of the stuff I'd like to talk about in the movie.
You can go back. I don't need to see it again, but if you want to go back and see it again, I'll, of course, pick you up, take you to the theater, drop you off at the front door, go back to my car, forget my wallet. Anyway, then if you listen, then you'll have notes and then I'll just kind of talk because I remember a lot. I remember. And then I can just...
If you remember so much, let's talk about it tonight. And I'll just go off of you.
Whole lot of love.
Actually, seeing them live would make most people fall in love with
them. I'll tell you what, though. There's that one concert. I think it's their most... Is it The Song Remains the Same or whatever I think is... it's live footage. The stuff on the early stuff when they were just jamming, just playing, not costumed or anything, so much better than their most popular stuff. And that's why I'll defend myself saying that I kind of got a lot of the, whatever, the hard candy shell of Zeppelin and didn't get into the creamy center. Because Down by the River, Black Mountain Road, is that what it's called? Getting into the thing? I wasn't as exposed to those because I didn't have a lot of... I had one Zeppelin record, and we all know about that. You know how
Did
that
you mean
worked
Down
out.
by the Seaside?
Down by the Seaside, what did I say? River? I think that's Talking Heads. Anyway, did I say that I changed my Jellybean vote yet? I don't think I have.
You haven't. You ate all four, though.
I did eat all four, but I thought I was going to like the lemon more than the orange, not orange is better than lemon. So the right configuration would have been white, purple, yellow, orange. That race is that photo finish is final.
The purple one was the smaller one. So maybe that's why
I think it would have had to been about the size of your
But I think that threw off the taste. It didn't have enough flavor in it.
I don't think it wasn't a quantity, it was an intensity. Would you agree that this size Jellybean would be just as disappointing as this size if it had the same level of intensity?
Should we next time do the Brock's candy, the hard candy and the wrappers? That's like watermelon.
You're thinking about Jolly Ranchers? Think about when I think of watermelon.
I thought they were Brock's, but they might not be.
Well, that's a brand. It's a Goodyear.
Right. They make those. I don't know what the candies themselves are called.
Goodyear makes candy?
They do.
Put me down for a couple of radials and a Kit Kat there, Chet.
Well, this one's disintegrated.
Yeah, we got to talk about the Zeppelin thing again. Is it over? Oh, I did have one other thing.
Go for it.
No, I can't. Because it's, you know what? Anyone who's listening this far in, I think that if the colors of Ukraine were like brown and green, less people would support them. Everybody loves blue and yellow. I think there are people that don't even know what the fuck Ukraine is, and they're like, I stand with them because the color scheme is superior to many other countries around here or there. I wasn't going to bring this up, but I decided to.
At least in my case, I never knew till this conflict broke out that Chernobyl was actually in Ukraine.
I didn't either until just then. then, before. You don't got to rewind far. So you just learned that but within a year?
When the conflict broke out, because they were getting dangerously close to bombing it, and the shell has been hit either by a rocket or a drone. So the protective shell over the nuclear site, actually the top shell, there's a hole in it. They say it's nothing bad.
Yeah.
People vaporize when they get close to it, but that's what they say. Nothing bad.
Yikes.
It's just something.
So Chernobyl's in Ukraine. What about Montreal? Is that there too? I mean,
I don't get that at all.
I know. I couldn't think of anything better. I was going to try to see, like, where is Red Rocks? Or Niagara Falls. Somehow Montreal made it out.
That's beautiful. Holy cow.
Okay, so would I have been better off just forgetting I thought that thought? I thought it so much I wrote it down. Because everyone this week, it's not like you kind of know your friends, your whatever network of people that you have online. Also, did you see my Facebook manifesto on my birthday?
I didn't.
Oh, really? Yeah, I put something out basically saying my birthday wish is that all of you bums on my Facebook page would just get along, okay? You're nice people. Y'all like me. And I got more positive than negative on it.
Nice.
Okay, yeah, totally. And then the next day they're like, did you hear what Trump said? And it's like, fuck, all right. So anyway, but there's the Trump people and then there's the Ukrainian flag people. And they're really standing with Ukraine. It bothers me that guy, we're not political. Of course, after, something political is going to follow. Bothers me that when Zelensky he said he wasn't really that interested in ending the war. Like, if there could be a solution, you could end the war. Would you take it? He's like, I don't want to talk about that. It's like, well, is that the whole point of war, is to either win or lose or not lose at least? Because he's got an opportunity to not lose, and he should. I just think that someone who really cares, advocates for his people, that the people that don't have, like, security and all that stuff and live behind, walls, that I'd say, yeah, let's end this thing. This is 3 fucking years. It's crazy talk. I know this won't air, but I feel better having said it. So I guess I stand with Ukraine too, but I'm not going to put the flag out. But I also think they should end the war if they can.
The sad part, in my eyes, is that the Russians invaded Ukraine, and they had a 25-mile long...
Oh, everybody was in a row? You could have taken them out that day?
Yeah, we could have wiped them out. But the U.S. said, no, we can't give you that because it'll start World War III. Everything that they said we would not give them, we're giving them now, that and more. But World War III hasn't broken out. So
plus,
I don't understand.
However many dollars we said. So,
but anywho.
Zeppelin! Ew! All I know is Led Zeppelin talked about America like it was the beacon. They were, oh yeah, we go to the American, that's our dream. Make people in America like our music. And sure enough, spoiler alert, they got popular in America first, and then they didn't know if England would like them.
But the documentary only covered it up to, I think it ended at 1970. So Led Zeppelin went on.
That was 19... Son of a bitch, you're right.
They became the biggest band. Maybe that pushed Beatles to break up because they couldn't keep up with Led Zeppelin any longer.
Yeah, and it wouldn't have been close either. Well,
food for thought.
Yum. That sounds better than Sweaty's Balls, that one guy we had on recently.
Well, thank you for listening. You can get a hold of us at the ascertainers@gmail.com or like us on the Facebook. See you next time on this wonderful podcast with me, Mark, and my wonderful partner, Jim.
I was going to say something. No, I don't remember.
Bye now.
Bye.